Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Mission 2024 WDF World Championships. We're coming to you live from the Lakeside Country Club, Frimley Green. We've already seen 8 days of brilliant action here. Today, day 9 is semi-final Saturday, and we've already seen 4 finalists go through with our play this afternoon, and tonight 4 more join them. Let's remind you of what happened earlier. Paige Paulin beat Gentle Franson 2-0 to go through. Paige played some beautiful darts. Looking forward to seeing her in the final. Jensen Walker 2-1 against Florian Pries. Lorena Rietbergen went 3-0. Ooh, that's the wrong way round. Good job, we know. Sophie McKinley beat Lorena Rietbergen 3-1. And then our last game of the afternoon, Shane McGurk, who's now the hot favourite for the tournament, went straight through in straight sets against Francois Schwein. So I'm delighted once again to be joined by Scott Mitchell and Lorraine Winstanley, who've been here all afternoon and sharing co-commentary as well. Are you enjoying yourselves?
I'm having a great time. I don't know how I'm coming across, but I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah, it's always good to be watching the darts.
Oh, I know. I mean, you've been here for donkey's years anyway, and you've won it, and you've won it once as well.
Oh, you always call me that.
With all respect to everybody who's playing tonight, I'm sorry, but it is Paul Lim time. There are going to be limbs everywhere later on this evening. Just a very brief word on what a legend.
An absolute legend. And he was my top tip when we did the draw, and everybody laughed. Not in a bad way, but I think they thought other players were going to.
Well, also, I think I think his odds were quite long for the tournament. So, but yeah, I know you're going to have to not cry later on, but Paul, to see the man
42 years ago, he made his debut here. 42 years ago. Just wow. How do you do that? It's legendary, and I don't ever see it being repeated.
And he keeps playing last. He's on last. He plays his own way. He won't be hurried. You know all about that. But the crowd love him. There aren't many slow players that people like.
What is not to love about Paul Lim?
All right. Let's have a look at the order of play for tonight, because even though we absolutely love Paul, there are 3 other quality games coming up for you. We've got the other girls semi-final first. Sophie McKinley, who we've already seen today, she played this afternoon in the women's. Lorraine, I'm going to ask you about that in a little while, how she qualifies for both. She's playing Aurora Focasato, who's last year's winner. Lex Peischeiss plays Archie Self. That's going to be rapid. Bo Greaves, back-to-back 2-time world champion against the legend that is Dieter Hedman. And then our final game of this evening, Jason Brandon takes on Paul Lim. Jason Brandon, the American, who we don't know that much about, but he is playing the legend that is Paul Lim. Right, we'll talk about those games in depth as and when they come up. But first of all, Lorraine, you're heavily involved in youth development of darts in this country. I know there's no point in saying to you, my goodness, the explosion of darts. And it is the Luke Littler effect as well, but you've seen this firsthand, haven't you?
Yeah, and it is absolutely amazing for the sport. It's attracted players that wouldn't normally watch the darts, wouldn't be interested in darts. He's got players involved that would never think about picking a dart up. Right from little ones right to through to the older generation. So he's got a massive, massive fan base.
And it's funny that he talks about being on his Xbox, but there are kids who are putting down their Xboxes to watch him play.
The other thing that would be known about 2024, about March or April, you could not buy a dartboard. There wasn't one in the country. The influx after what he did, it's never been heard of before. It's amazing.
It is. The youth programme at the moment is great as well. We need to get on to our first game. I would like to talk to you more about, because Sophie is playing Aurora down there tonight. How do you see this one going?
To be fair, Sophie's got all the experience of the week, but Aurora has held that trophy, so she's got the experience of being a champion and knowing how to win. Sophie's got to go into this game like round 1. This is, this is the semi-final of the girls, and she can't be complacent about it.
All right, it is time. Let's hand you over to our MC, Anthony Dundas.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's semi-finals day here at the 2024 Mission WDF Lakeside World Championship. This is the home of World Darts. This is Lakeside! We introduce to the stage our final two semi-finalists in the girls' competition. First of all, a young lady who came through the Lakeside World Championship qualifiers, the reigning Slovenia Open Girls Champion, the reigning Lakeside World Girls Champion from Italy, Aurora Fucasato! Her opponent is the winner of 7 World Youth Ranking titles this year, the reigning Hungarian Masters and Scottish Open Girls Champion from Scotland, Sophie McKinley!
Well, a very good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Lakeside, where a familiar face rejoins us. Yes, Sophie McKinley, the women's finalist, who'll take on either Bo Greaves or Dieter Hedman, has other business to attend to. It's amazing how quickly priorities can change. Only a couple of months ago, this will have been the full focus of Sophie the Trophy, the 18-year-old who has dazzled us all week. She has won 4 games in the women's tournament and is now a finalist, and she is looking to become the first ever double winner of the women's and girls tournament. She has been cool as a cucumber. Every game she has stepped up, and even today when she faced Lorena Rietbergen, probably as the favourite, probably with pressure on her shoulders, she managed to come through the test. But Aurora Fucasato, the 18-year-old Italian, knows what it takes to win on the Lakeside stage. Beat Christina Tarai of Hungary last year. She is looking to defend the title, and that would make it 2 from 3, with Eleanor Cairns winning the first one back in 2022. Lorraine Winstanley, you have been so enthralled by Sophie's runs this week. Is there going to be a different complexion to this now she's playing back in the girls as the big favourite?
I think Sophie just has to focus and look at this for what it is, because she's made the final of the women's now. This is almost starting again. This is a different tournament, but obviously same venue, same stage, and hopefully she will be able to keep her focus and do what she needs to do.
Aurora, a very strong player in her own right. Looking to maybe be a flag bearer for Italian darts. Not a nation we really associate with many good players coming through. They are starting to chip away. We've got the likes of Michele Torretta playing Pro Tour. They've had some good runs in the World Cup. But Fucasato could be a very unique figure in the sport.
81.
We've met 3 times before. as recently as the World Open, the same weekend where McKinley qualified for the women's. And it was McKinley who won that 4-3.
Sophie will have gone through a whole range of emotions today as well, for gearing up for that so important women's semi-final, having the elation of winning, knowing that she's into the final. She's got to gather herself, let the adrenaline go, try and pump it back up again coming into this game. So to be fair, Sophie's got a real task on her hands, just controlling her emotions and how she feels about the way she's going to approach this game.
Over-adjusted with the first dart, so Aurora will have a first look at a checkout. Probably should go the 15s. Could go 25 if she's feeling brave. Very brave. Confident start.
She's a very confident player. She's been playing about 5 years, Aurora has. She started playing when she was 13 years old.
And it's Sophie who started stronger by virtue of winning the bullseye in the back room. She strikes first. I suppose the only danger from Sophie's point of view is the fact she's played so much darts this week. There's always that lingering threat of burnout.
Yes. She is a big practicer though, so she's used to throwing darts every day. Obviously, not under these kind of circumstances or this kind of pressure, but it's not like she just practices a couple of times a week. So, you know, she's continuing with that process of throwing darts every day.
A bit like Sophie, Aurora, despite only being 18, is playing lots of senior women's darts, building experience via those routes.
She is. We've seen her on the women's series several times. Yet to see Sophie, but I think it may be in her plans for this coming year. Now she's not able to play on the WDF Youth Tour.
You could say that Aurora was literally hours away from not qualifying for this because she was born on New Year's Day.
Yes.
And that come a day earlier, she'd have been too old. The cut-off point being January the 1st. Well, better safe than sorry, but McKinley won't be happy with that.
She won't, but she will return.
Aurora's 61 left.
I think.
Should have given herself 2 chances. So should Aurora.
She could have left that much handier than she did. Maybe she just had a bit of brain fog as to what to go for and just thought, big and odd.
It can happen.
I would think Aurora will go straight for this. Maybe she should have gone straight for it.
Trying to split those low numbers is always perilous as Sophie McKinley swoops in to take the second leg.
I think splitting finishes is dangerous because you've got that extra tension that you need to hit the big number. We've seen so many times it's so difficult to hit that big number. All the doubles are the same size. We all have our favourites, but they're all the same size, so why not go for it? And they're bigger than the treble.
You can see from the side on, it's a lovely textbook throw that Aurora's got.
She's got a beautiful throwing action.
And I must admit, compared to when I saw her last year, it doesn't seem to be quite as high and low and loopy. It's a lot more straight back and forward.
Yes, I think she must have been working on that, and the follow through on the flick of the wrist.
27.
She is a little Anastasia-like, very graceful, but that snap of the wrist at the end.
38.
Winner of this to play Paige Pauling in tomorrow's final, after she beat the Belgian hopeful Jentel Fransen 2-0, sealing it with a magnificent 157 checkout.
Won't be the last that we see of Jentel. Had a little chat with her after the game and she was okay, obviously gutted, but she did so well to qualify, to come through those qualifiers. I'm sure we'll be seeing her on this stage again in the future.
81.
Yeah, she was the youngest of the 4 girls participants. Belgium has got one last hopeful in the form of 13-year-old Lex Peishauser, who looks more like an under-9. He's a very young-looking 13-year-old. He's up against Archie Self, who's only 15 in the boys. Then we've got the return of Bo Greaves against Dieter Hedman. And closing off the show, Jason Brandon against a fella you might have heard of, Paul Lim.
The legend, Paul Lim. Going back to the boys' draw, it was funny how it worked out. I was holding my breath then. It's funny how it worked out that the older 2 boys played each other and we've got the younger 2 boys playing each other.
Double top for Aurora Focusato. She gets her first leg.
She'll be happier now she's got a leg on the board, and it was a break of throw.
It's a real dogfight that Aurora was locked into on stage last year against Christina Terai. Both players clearly very nervous playing that final. They didn't have a semi-final to warm up for it. This is a newly expanded girls' tournament.
It was a bit of a baptism of fire for them, to be on the biggest stage in the biggest game of their life. And I'm not saying that the semi-finals are warm-up, but, it's all or nothing. It's do or die, isn't it? Sophie's stolen the control of this leg.
All the darts have been kept nice and straight.
45. Sophie was by 161.
Should have been looking for more, but there's plenty of time.
No finish now possible, even if she'd have found the treble last dart in hand. Couple of slips means it's an awkward 99 finish. She'll return for. Didn't consider going two tops.
No, I think I possibly would have done. Knowing the calibre of Aurora, she's more than capable on a day of taking out a big finish. It's all about how you feel, though, when you're letting those darts go.
14 dragged into the 11. Are we watching a rerun?
This afternoon's session, we saw quite a few of those from several different players, didn't we? 14 was causing some issues.
Has to be treble 19. Well, fair enough. It could have been treble 15 for Bull.
Tops for the set. And she finds it.
Yeah, confident start from Sophie McKinley. There is a break after this set, so Sophie can go off knowing she's 1-0 up. She's held the darts in her own set. And Aurora Focasato has got some thinking to do. It is Sophie McKinley 1, Aurora Focasato 0.
The 46th annual Winmore Fleet.
I've just said with Helen, we were just talking about that. This is the first round of the other tournament. She doesn't want to go out here knowing that she's got the Women's World Championship final to play. So there is likely to be a bit of nerves here. Touching on Aurora's hair. It's hot up there. I reckon she's tied it up to help her feel a bit cooler.
Knowing Sophie as you do, as an outsider, you could look at the situation she's in and think, well, she's made the women's final. That's entirely her priority, and this is almost a bonus. Will she be taking this lightly? I think I might know the answer to this.
No, she won't be taking this lightly because she's worked all year for this. She got into the women's through the qualifier. She wasn't expecting to be in the women's, although having said that, because of the women's tournaments that she's played all year, she wasn't too far off the qualifying criteria through the ranking system anyway. But to ensure her place here, she played in the qualifiers, but she has known that this one is her priority. The women's one is a bonus.
It would be a magical story if it were to happen. Aurora has made a strong start after the break. Looking at double 18. Double 9. No, she chooses to split. Not someone who plays the percentages, clearly. Although 1-4-1, it's a difficult checkout. Certainly
It is. But
showcasing bravery.
She's playing the women's finalist. I wouldn't give her anything. They were well thrown darts, just slightly left of the target. Here's Sophie for double 12, and she pins it.
It's an excellent leg, and that will feel a bit of a steal. I wouldn't be surprised if Aurora felt a bit disheartened after that.
Yeah, because Aurora's scoring in that leg was superb, and then it just all got a bit messy down towards the end.
As mentioned in the first set, she's developed a lot of experience at a young age, playing the women's series in the PDC as well as all the WDF system. clearly loves the sport.
She's making that transition into playing the women's tournaments easier. By overlapping the two, it makes that transition so much smoother. If she just concentrated on the youth tournaments, and then clearly she's getting to the point where she's going to be too old for them, it's such a big jump then going, right, I'm going to play in the women's now.
Maybe it was written in the stars that she was destined to be a darter. You can't spell Focasato without Oki. Which is something I did work out during the break.
Oh, I'm impressed. I can't say it, and I'm not even going to attempt it, so.
What, Oki?
Cheeky.
We might look at the 17s here. Should have looked at the 17s.
So frustrating because she stood back and thought about it. She didn't ask. You are allowed to ask the referee if you're not sure what's left. We all have brain fog when we're stood on the oki occasionally. They're not allowed to tell you which way to go, but they can tell you what you've got left. And if worst case scenario, if you need to knock off an odd number, you just throw at something odd, you know, if you genuinely don't know. But we're looking at the girls' world champion here. That was bad calculating, really.
Looking to take the darts back. And if you do need to ask, you shouldn't feel embarrassed. That's one of the functions of the referee. They're not just there to call the scores.
Of course. Sometimes by asking, it just buys you a couple of seconds to just gather yourself again as well. You know, it's awful if you don't know because you panic.
Well, this game is slipping away from Aurora.
She gets another go. She's having a little giggle to herself, but maybe that's what she needed to do, smile at it.
Family have made the journey over from Italy. Strong response.
Another good score there just to increase her lead. I asked Aurora who her favourite player was, and she said her dad, because she's learned so much from him. And I thought, what a beautiful answer.
And then did you say, what about Paul Lim?
I missed a trick. Maybe I should have done. Have you met Paul Lim? Here comes Sophie with one of those pressure shots. We've seen that from Sophie in so many legs where she has been trailing. Her timing has been great.
Generally, I think Aurora's scored better, but it's the approach play that the approach play has been sloppy, and then on the doubles, she's missed way too many opportunities. Only 2 from 11 so far.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Seen that a few times today, the accidental tops.
Great setup. Puts the pressure on this double 10 for Aurora. She can work in off that. Over adjusts. Back comes Sophie. I think double 10 is Sophie's favourite double.
I was just about to make the point that there have been many pressure shots this week where she's nailed double 10.
Yeah.
She's got inside on tops, and then you might start to get nervous. No nerves there.
When you are a tops lever, I don't understand why people split the double 5, because it's right next door. You know, if you're chasing around the board, I never fear leaving, well, any double, it's a bonus if you get to the double, but I don't mind double 5. I don't actually mind double 1, because it's right in the line of, you know, you've got tops sitting there. So I wouldn't waste a dart trying to leave it better to still potentially end up on double 1 in my case.
It always amazes me when you hear about players who don't like tops, when you consider that for the majority of the game, you're aiming only a few inches south.
Yeah.
But every player has their preferences, their quirks.
Yeah, and every player works things out differently. My counting isn't very good. My memory's not very good, but I work out my finishing from memory. So there are certain finishes I will go certain ways. So when I approach the hockey, I know what it leaves me if I hit the treble. I know what it leaves me if I hit the single. But I know where I'm going, and it may be, you know, using the 18s to leave 32, but the next time, you know, on a different finish, I might use the 20s to leave 36. You know, so I have my set ways of going for certain finishes, but I've had to do that because my counting isn't great.
It's all about patterns rather than raw mathematics.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Oh, that's plum.
Couldn't put that any more central. What a finish.
That is a place in the girls' final for Sophie McKinley. I hope she's got plenty of energy because she's going to need it tomorrow. 2 finals for the trophy. Who's looking to pick up a double at Lakeside. What a week she's had. The defending champion knocked out in the semi-finals.
The 46th annual
Welcome back to Lakeside. We're with you live on Blaze TV, live at the Lakeside, and live we've got Sophie McKinley with us, who's just won that game. Sophie, how do you feel?
I feel absolutely ecstatic, like checking out 82 probably the best thing that could have just happened. I just wanted to get it over and done with.
I mean, it wasn't just a bullseye, was it? It was a perfect bullseye.
You couldn't have put it any more central in the middle of that ball.
Did you know the 32 was going as soon as you pinned that bullseye right in the middle?
Yeah.
Yes, good girl.
Good answer.
It was, let's go back, it was quite a scrappy game at the start, if you don't mind me saying so. Did you feel that too, though?
Yeah. At the break, I was a bit frustrated with myself. Like, I wasn't scoring as what I can usually do. Scoring usually my strong point. And I was a bit like upset that I wasn't doing it. But I came back out and Aurora started firing and really high scores. So I was just trying to fight back as hard as I could.
Were you thinking all the time, I know what Aurora's got in her tank, at some point she's going to come back at me and I've got a fight on my hands here?
Yeah, I've played Aurora multiple times.
Well, because it's a reset. You were
So difficult. You can't explain how difficult that is to do. She's making it look very easy.
She is, isn't she? All right, we're going to look ahead to our second game of the evening now. So we've got the youth, the boys are up next. Now, blink and you'll miss this. We've got Lex Passhouse playing Archie Self. I was watching Lex play earlier on in the week, and the boy is rapid. He's not only good, he's a very fast player.
Extremely fast. And so is Archie, so it is literally going to be blink and you miss it. I'm looking forward to it. There'll be fireworks.
Scott has no idea what it's like to play fast.
No, I haven't. Thank you for that, friend. No, I know exactly what you're saying, but I think for this game, this will help each other. I think nobody's going to get in each other's way. They're going to be able to play their natural game, and I want to see it being a bit of a barn burner. I really want to see it go fast and quick, because it's entertaining to watch that way. As long as the guys don't let the game pass them by being a little bit over quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lex is only 13 years old. Archie's only 14 years old. Lex is from Belgium. Darts in Belgium is massive right now, isn't it?
It's a real hotbed for darts.
Yeah, it is. You know, Dimitri's been out there doing bits, Kim Hybricks. They're all coming through because of those guys that have led the way in the PDC, and it's great to see.
Okay. All right, I believe the boys are ready, so we won't keep them waiting. Let's hand you over to Anthony Dundas for our second game.
We come to our second boys semi-final here at the 2024 Mission WDF Lakeside World Championship. And we welcome a young man who came through the Lakeside World Championship qualifiers. The winner of 5 WDF Europe Cup Youth Gold medals with England, Archie Self. His opponent also came through the Lakeside World Championship qualifiers. He is the reigning WDF World Masters Boys Champion, Lex Passhouse.
So this is the youngest match we've seen on the Lakeside stage this week. Lex Peishauser, the young man, boy, bairn, infant, however you want to describe him, opened up the show in this tournament in the quarter-finals. The most incredible thing about his rise is that he had never left Belgium until he went to the World Masters in Hungary back in October. He then goes and wins the boys' tournament and then qualifies for this. So he's becoming more well-travelled than he's ever been. He is rapid, and he is the latest cap off the Belgian ranks. Archie Self has got a bit more silverware to his name, a prominent winner in WDF Cups, and he also was a qualifier to this championship. He was too strong for Kenji Steinbach of the Netherlands, winning that game 2-1. Lex, a straight sets winner against Ralf Laumanis of Latvia. Scott Mitchell is alongside me for this very exciting looking contest between two stars of the future.
Yeah, I most certainly am. I obviously know a little bit about Archie Self. He's from 20 minutes up the road. Saw him playing county darts for Basingstoke, for Berkshire. He's based in the Basingstoke area, and yeah, definitely one for the future. And Lex Peishauser has sort of just appeared on the scene. He's just been around for a very short time. Like you say, not travelled, but it doesn't seem to faze him. And that's a sign that he's settled down very quickly indeed.
Took no time at all to settle on this stage against the young Latvian Ralf Laumanis. Came away with an average of 92.8, which is the best we've seen in this boys' competition so far. Going downstairs. Another treble 19. Treble 17. Leaves double 10, a classic ploy for a left-hander.
Statistically the best double on the board, we're told, on many occasions.
Been good to a lot of players this week. Not this time to Lex. Archie pins it.
Because Archie is local, he has one or two local people in for him this evening. His first round game, he was telling me he had just under 100 people here for him, which can be great, or it can add pressure. Quite ironic the draw has fallen as it has. We seem to have had an older boys half draw and a younger lads in the half draw, and these guys have an opportunity to come back for a few years yet, whereas the guys in the top half in the first semi-final, I don't believe they can come back. We know that Jensen Walker, this is his last youth event.
180 from Archie Self gets him down to a finish. Lex will be on a better one. Could potentially have half a dozen cracks at this World Championship, Lex, at just 13. Double 16. Early frustration on the doubles.
The young Belgian levels it up at 1-1. You saw Jackie in the crowd there, jumping up and down.
Jackie's last hope of seeing a title winner, following the demise of Jentel Fransen and Francois Schweyen in the girls' and men's tournaments respectively. Do you think you'd have had the temperament to play on the Lakeside stage, age 13?
No. Is that plain enough for you? I don't think so, no. I'm quite happy it came to me in the life that, at the time of life that it did.
Been a dip in level from Lex Passhauser since he played his first game. Still very, very impressive, but Archie has picked his game up.
He knew he was going to have to. He saw the other game. He knew what Lex is capable of. He would have known from Hungary what he could do. The internet is a marvellous thing for letting you know what's going on around you. It's not like the carrier pigeon days of my life. So a break of throw for Archie Self. Could that be important?
Unfortunate to have to pick a dart up off the floor.
Did have a good look at it, to inspect it, to try and find the reason for it. I like that a lot.
Sometimes it just can be a bit of misfortune.
Big happy birthday to whoever that was. You had to be able to read quick to work out who it was, but I did get the part that it said happy birthday.
I think it said Elijah, so you're watching. Celebrate with a 171 from Archie Self.
And you could say the crowd are getting into it.
Another one. Double 16
for the set.
So Self returns for double 8. Must have slipped, but that's a cracking readjustment. And Archie Self has won the first set here at Lakeside in the boys' semi-final. The older of the two lads, 3-1 in Legs, and Lex missed a few opportunities. It is Archie Self who leads Lex Passhauser by a set to 0.
46th.
There's still a lot of game to play here. And we've seen games flip in an instant. It's things like that, it's counting like that. I didn't know about that. At 40 years old, let alone 14.
Board management switching to the younger generation, and now he wants double 14. Oh, that's sensational.
Wow.
This kid is something else.
110, 145. Wow. That's yourself. Welcome to the big time.
Nick Rolls getting the pleasure of calling this one. And so are we. So refreshing to see darts in safe hands.
Archie did say to me after the game, his last game, that he had to battle away, and he's got a lot better in the tank than that. He really has. He wasn't lying.
Even the decision then to go for the 18s after. Looked at Lex's score, realised that he didn't need to go the 18s route to leave the bullseye.
We've been shooting 110 and 145, 86. Must look like a canter in the park, mustn't it? Double 7.
Match dart missed. Lex just takes a sip of water, calms himself down. He knows he'll only get one opportunity at a double if he hits the treble.
And shows a bit of maturity from him as well. It's obviously the family of Lex. And that,
the family of Archie, who will be celebrating. The youngster from Berkshire has booked his spot in an all-English final against the 18-year-old Jensen Walker. He gets warmly congratulated by Lex Peishauser. Archie Self has won in straight sets, 6-1. Look out for this kid in the future.
The 46th annual Winmore Free.
And welcome back to the WDF World Darts Championships live from Lakeside. You're watching us on Blaze TV, and we have Archie Self with us, who's hot-footed it up here after his match. How do you feel, Archie? You're through to the final.
Oh, I feel amazing. I was nervous going into. Oh, sorry. I felt nervous going into the game against Lex, but the way I played, I just didn't feel it in the game. So.
How did you feel it at the start of the game? Because you swapped and swapped and swapped. It was break, wasn't it? Did you feel like you were settled, or did that come a bit later after you'd won the first set?
Well, I was settled in after the first couple of throws in the game, but it was a good break of throw in the third leg, which I think helped me in the game. So, and then to win the last leg of the first set, it boosted my confidence in the last leg. All
right, I'm going to ask this man here. He's won a World Championships on this stage. Has this fella got what it takes to win one?
I knew he had what it takes a couple of years ago when I saw him playing for Berkshire as this little wee lad at County coming to Dorset. He's always had what it takes, but you've got to give yourself time to develop. And that's exactly what he's done. He keeps learning every time he goes to play. Can't believe he only got out on 7-7 in that last set. You know, taking out 110 and the 1-5, 4-5. What are you messing around at? Should have took the 86 as well. But is it harder for you because you're more local to the venue? You obviously got a lot of fans in to come and see you. I know you told me that your last game there was a lot of people in to see you. Do you feel the pressure of that, or does it just water off a duck's back?
Ever since the first game, I just settled in with the crowd. So I like the support for me, and obviously I like Lexi's support and everyone else's support, but it's just, I've adapted to myself now on that stage, and I feel confident going into tomorrow.
One thing you got to do, there's so many people that aren't here that support it. Just look into that camera, just give them a wave. There you go, look. That's for the guys that can't be here.
Dying of cringe on your behalf. Right, talk to us about Jensen Walker. Jensen Walker, who you've got now in the final. You must have played a few times before.
Yeah, I've played in England Grand Prix and Chelsea just this year. It's about a neck-and-neck battle, so...
Is there?
I've beaten him at Chelsea, he beat me at the England Classic, England Open finals and that. So...
It's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a hard game.
All right. It's going to be a hard game, and it's going to be a good game. Thanks ever so much. I'm not sure if it's past your bedtime now, so we better let you go. I've just made him die of cringe now. Archie Self, thanks very much for joining us. We'll bring Lorraine in for our next game. Thank you, Archie. Well done again. Well done. We'll bring Lorraine in because we're now going to look ahead. We've got the ladies' semi-final. It's our second one. Obviously, there was one this afternoon. We've got Bo Greaves and Dieter Hedman up on that stage in a minute. There's not a lot else we can say about Bo Greaves. We know what she's done, we know what she can do, but also the same about Dieter. She's been around for a long time. With Dieter, you know exactly what you're going to get. Also, the thing I love about Dieter as well, if you ask her about the game, she says, well, I'm either going to win it or I'm going to lose it. And it really, I'm never sure if that's a bluff or not, or whether inside she's like, I'm going to win this one. You've played her loads of times.
Loads of times. I've played them both loads of times. Bo hasn't been playing quite like she wants to. She's been doing enough. She's feeling good, practicing well, and it just hasn't quite clicked on stage. And although she's got the results, she's not happy because she hasn't performed the way she wants to perform.
She said, though, when I spoke to her earlier, she said, I don't know why, but I think, can you ever know why? If you're throwing your, if you arrive somewhere and you go, I feel good, and they're not going in, can you ever
I think
know
you can
why?
overthink it and stop yourself. I think we're all guilty of that at times. You think, you sat there and you're throwing, you're thinking, have I got hold of it right? Have I got this? Once you go down that road, the road is a long way back. You've got to stop thinking about how it is and just go, it was that day, on to the next. But what I will say, Dieter's changed her darts a couple of months ago,
yes,
and she has picked up. She is starting to play back like she was a couple of years ago, and I've noticed that in the last couple of months. It's a little bit like the Eric Bristow, Phil Taylor thing back at the start, the mentor and the student.
Yeah.
Because Dieter helped an awful lot at the start. So it is a little scenario like that, and I just can't wait to see what happens.
Well, let's hear from the players. I caught up with both of them earlier on today. Dieter, just talk me through your day yesterday of how it started. You finished your night shift, didn't you, at?
I finished at 6 o'clock, and then I just drove just over 2 hours to get here.
And then you have a couple of hours sleep, and then you get up on the stage and you play like that.
Well, it was a break of throw in leg one. Is Dieter going to break back? Tops the target.
Finds it right in the corner.
Dieter Hedman is here to play. Last meeting that these two had actually saw Bo record her highest average against Dieter. 100.26 in the British Open semi-finals. Needless to say, she won the tournament.
She's not going to lose many with 100 average, is she really?
Came 2 darts away from seeing Lakeside history in Bo's first game, though not from Bo, from Kirsi Vinikainen. 7 treble 20s, and she was agonisingly close to hitting treble 19 for a go at the 9 darter.
That would have been a superb piece of history, not only being a woman to hit a 9 darter on the stage, but to have the legend that Paul Lim is in the same building. That would have been pretty cool.
If you had leg 3 on your Paul Lim bingo card, well done. He'll be the man on everyone's lips in our final game. The early signs of this say it could be a battle.
I'm wondering if Dita's pace is just unsettling her slightly. She's not easily knocked off guard at all, but given the pressure that she is here, defending her title, in playing the legend that's Dita, just the slightest little things can niggle you. And she's not particularly slow, Dita, but she's not the fastest.
Oh,
what a finish.
Reeves. 148. She hit a very notorious one of those against Fallon Sherrock in the women's series. And she's done it on the Lakeside stage so nonchalantly.
And backs it up with a 180. Bo has entered the building. Solid reply from Dita. Switch to the 17s there, so she can stay on the 20s to leave. Nice finish.
See more players do that these days. You'd rather leave a number ending in 1 or 4 than 2 or 3.
Yeah. I think people are finishing about the finish. People are thinking about the finish earlier on in the leg now, whereas you used to just score and sort it out when you got to the end. But now people are thinking right from the first 3 darts. Quite often you'll see, you know, throwing at the 20 and that 17 straight off. If you've got the confidence that you know you're going to stay straight down the line on the 20s, then that's great. She leaves 26, but I don't think Bo's bothered what double she leaves. There's nothing quite like hearing the roar of the 180 in here either.
It is raucous this evening. Double 13.
Great ball management from Dita on a previous visit, hitting the 105 to leave the 170. She's in. It's on.
We've never seen this from a ladies player.
Oh.
On the Lakeside stage.
I think the roof would have been lifted off there if that had gone in. She's back though to sort out this 29.
I don't think the scoreboard's right. She only just missed bullseye. Yes, 39. Yes. Otherwise, that's 2 treble 20s, and then your attempt at the bull is treble 7. And that wouldn't be particularly good.
No. Double 8. Hit the big number, Bo.
Well, she made sure of it. Sometimes when you're going for the big number, you take it for granted and it sways from one side to the other.
Yeah, sometimes you're not quite as focused because you're aiming at such a big target as opposed to aiming for a treble or a double. Great start to this leg. You think the area's so big so you're going to hit it. It's a bit like leaving 46, 10 or a 6.
Exactly.
Suddenly you're in 15. How does that happen?
It's about giving yourself the best opportunity where possible.
Lucky with that second dart, but great
readjustment.
readjustment.
Thinking exactly the same.
There was a sharp intake of air, wasn't there?
So far in front in this leg, she persisted on the 20s, could have gone down for 19 to maybe leave 120. It would have been an easier finish, but plenty of time.
I think she's just looking for the big score. Her finishing has been a little bit untidy, so the quicker that she gets down there, effectively the more darts she's got at it, because she's not been hitting it first dart all the way through, so... Scoring big and working it out when you get to the end. She's gone back to old school now. No trouble this time.
Winner here faces Sophie McKinley in the final tomorrow.
So the third leg she's set off with a 180.
Yeah.
You can't ask for a better start, can you?
Not struggling with the lie of the dart now. She's got a range absolutely bob on.
She's not hitting those trebles every throw, though, is she? We're seeing a big score and then a steady score. Great darts there from Dieter. Dieter being in that position would have been looking, knowing after the first dart she wasn't going to take it, was to apply as much pressure as possible, because Bo has been slightly dodgy on the doubles. She's got to give herself the best chance possible.
Double 10. 17 darter. And that's around the range of her average at the moment, averaging 88. So she's picked up her performance levels from rounds 1 and 2.
88's pretty steady, don't you?
I'd take it.
We're saying, oh, this is a B game. I think it can be so deceiving because it's not flashy score after big score after flashy score. It's a bit mishmash, isn't it? But that average is still up there, which is superb.
Well, I mean, in comparison with her highest ever recorded average, it's probably a D game. She's had a couple of 113.43s.
Thankfully, I've not been on the back of one of those. Yeah, she had a very good average on the Motor Super Series, didn't she, against a certain, was it Kevin Painter?
Yes. I believe so, yeah. Was that 140?
I think it might have been. That is springing to mind.
Right now, she's doing more than enough. It almost feels like that 170 attempt from Dieter scared Bo into life. And that's the same leg where she was going for 13, bust 12, and tidied up. Since then, opportunities have been extremely limited for Dieter.
Notice when Dieter got on the stage, of course, she comes on to hot. She was wafting her face saying, it's hot. And that was before she'd thrown a dart. So she must certainly be feeling the heat up there now.
This would be a red hot checkout.
Oh, she loves double 19. Oh, great effort there from Dieter. She's put that pressure, and rightly so. Back Dieter comes for 38. They look to be blocking. She's moved across slightly. What a fight!
That's why she does love double 19.
And a break of throw.
I agree with you, Lorraine. I thought the two darts were blocking, because she does use quite chunky barrels.
They're quite bulbous, aren't they? I like a chunky barrel.
Bo's got a much more standard setup with the long point, which we see loads of younger players using.
More and more of the players are wanting the longer points now. It just opens that bed up when you hit a treble. Beautifully demonstrated there. You could have probably got at least 9 or 12 darts in that treble there.
Ends the drought. She'd gone 2 whole legs without a 180.
Shame on her. Well, even a maximum won't bring Dieter down to a finish. brings her back into it.
There's a real atmospheric din in Lakeside this evening. We are close to a sellout. In fact, I think we are sold out tonight and sold out tomorrow night for finals day.
It is absolutely buzzing in here tonight.
But there's been great levels of respect and order from the crowds. There's always something you want to see. Brilliant last start.
Yeah, she had to have her sights on hitting the 180 there to leave the tops to go out. It's just a little tap on the shoulder from Dieter here, saying, not quite done yet. Last dart, that unlucky deflection.
Is that a parting shot?
Tops for the match. And there it is.
Well, did we really expect anything different? For the third year in a row, Bo Greaves is a Lakeside finalist. She has not dropped a set all tournament, and she is looking to complete a brilliant hat-trick. Sophie McKinley of Scotland awaits her in tomorrow's final. It was businesslike as ever from Bo. Bobby loves it, as do the Lakeside crowd. They're going to be seeing Bo in action in tomorrow's final.
The 46th annual Winmore Fleet.
Jason Brandon!
Well, how on earth do you introduce this? 70-year-old Paul Lim, one match away from a place in the Lakeside final. Strap yourselves in, potentially for a late night. Go and get all the drinks and snacks you need, because this game might be quite lengthy. And it was past midnight when Paul finally got over Jarno Bottenberg, the young Dutch hopeful, the Dutch Open winner. Bottenberg couldn't quite deal with the pace of Paul, who is back on this stage 30 years since his last appearance. The only man to ever hit a 9-dart leg here. We will continue to labour the point how special a player, how special a moment it is. He comes up against a debutant in Jason Brandon, a relative pup at 49 years old. But make no mistake, he has proven he can play, and he's proven he's got the bottle, because after comfortable 3-0 successes against Hannah Schneer and Sibren Heibels, Brandon went 3-0 up against the former champion Neil Duff. He had a match dart to make it 4-0. We know that Neil doesn't make it easy for himself or his opponents, and when he roared back to take the tie to 3 apiece, you'd be forgiven for thinking Brandon would panic. But a mega show-stopping 148 checkout broke the throw, and then he held in 20 darts to secure his place in the semi-finals. Scott Mitchell alongside me for the final game this evening, and Scott, we could be in for an incredibly special night.
Yeah, we really could. Paul Lim has rolled back the years, for want of another word. It's used very often with the older generation. I did tweet out that he was 71. He is a month off of being 71. So I do apologise for one or two that did put me right on social media. But I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a very tactical game. I think some of it is going to be how well Paul Lim has recovered from that late game last night. Big matches like that, they do take time for the adrenaline to sort of slow down, and can take a couple of hours. And it all just depends on how he managed to get himself prepared for today, having played already today.
Look, some people scoff at the idea that there is an endurance element to dart. They'll think, no, you're just standing there throwing. But to be on your feet for so long, to have to concentrate for so long, to then get back, for the adrenaline to leave your body, it is exhausting. So for Paul to be doing it at the age that he is, you have to tip your hat off.
Yeah, I've recently had a Fitbit as a watch, and you'll be so very surprised how many, a regular tournament, how many steps and miles that you walk. But it's not just about the physicality of it, it's about the mental side of things as well. Your mind gets tired. Well, that's a good opening 76 for Jason Brandon.
Jason's MO this tournament has been lethal finishing. He does have his unique tendencies. He's as much of a fan of treble 19 as he is treble 20, so the 171 count, 174 count is higher than most.
He's not afraid to dodge around the board, and neither player is afraid to dodge around the board. We saw a lot of Jason Brandon yesterday in the Neil Duff game, heading down to the treble 19s. And like you say, after conversations with him, we heard at the top of the show with Helen there, or top of the game, that 19s is where Jason Brandon likes to have a dig at. More likely to be throwing there than the treble 20s, but as yet he's not headed down to the 19s early doors.
He is the kind of player who will just try and score as heavily as possible and then think about the doubles when they come. He doesn't seem to plan legs in advance like we see from maybe younger players. Get as many points on or off the board as you can, and then go chasing doubles.
Yeah, indeed. Kai Van Lung, who was part of our tournament earlier in the week, has been looking after Paul Lim while he's been here.
And it was Kai who Paul defeated in round 2, so another seeded player to exit. It's a mark of how open this tournament's been, that Jason's the only seed standing, or was, in the semi-final lineup. Francois Schreyen and Shane McGurk having to enter in round 1.
Let's not forget Paul Lim was our co-commentator. Lorraine Winstanley's pick to win at the draw, when the draw was made. She backed Paul Lim. Nobody's happier than her to see him still in.
Well, she's 2 games away from making a lot of people look very silly.
.120 in the board. A nice big 18 to leave tops.
I wonder who Jackie's supporting now. None of his boys and girls are left. Probably Paul. Double 16 for Jason Brandon.
I think you can hear by the noise of the crowd who their favourite is for this one. The Singapore slinger levels it up at 1-1 in the first set.
Paul's played 4 games to get to this stage. He could have played a total of 21 sets. He's played 19 of them. Now Shane McGurk has got to the final, only playing 17. We've not even had Paul's semi-final yet. Where does he get his energy? There's Kai Fan Lung. Not hiding particularly well who he's supporting.
Paul, come on, was the cry. He didn't like that loose one.
See there, Brandon making his first trip to treble 19. Start a visit. Scoring visit, that is.
We do have the biggest crowd probably of the week so far in this evening. You could tell by the walk-ons and how many people, hands they had to shake, cuddle.
Never seen a player here be asked for so many selfies. And even when the players go off for the break, Paul will walk on and people will go to the front of the stage and ask, and fair play to him, he always obliges. Be easy for him to say no because it's mid-game, he wants to focus. He's just basking in the love that Lakeside has for him. or treble. Leaves the red button. Oh, and he's popped it in.
A fist pump from Lim as he gets to the board. He enjoyed that.
Jason did say in his pre-match interview with Helen that he thinks he remembers playing Paul Lim around 20 years ago. How could he forget?
Yeah, absolutely. He's Neil Duff may still be an interested watcher here. I don't believe I've seen him here today, but maybe wherever he is, he's watching, just to see if Jason Brandon performs as he did against him in the quarter-final. Quite often you'll see players watch the players that beat them in the next round, and he sat there not happy because he's not doing what he was doing to you the day before.
Well, on that basis, it seems like Kai Fan Long has completely forgotten he got beaten by Paul. Made a slow start to the match in leg one, did Lim, but he soon quickly got into his groove. Maybe the same fate awaits him here.
You see Peter Machin in the crowd behind Kai Van Lung. A few players do stay around. Those guys obviously have to book for the week in anticipation that they're going to be in all week. Some of the guys who have travelled from far and wide, and girls. So Jason Brandon there thinking, 100 up on the fella. I'll be all right this leg. And up pops Paul Lim with a 177. And puts himself back in the driving seat. Jason Brandon was having a little chat to himself there behind Paul Lim.
134.
Peter Machin and Michael Cassar, Australian players who have come from far and wide. Michael beaten by today's beaten semi-finalist Francois Schreien in round one.
He's another good guy, Michael. Had some good conversations with him last year. Another chance goes begging. He hasn't had many of those as Brandon. Didn't have one at all in set two, and here comes Mr. Lim. Tops it is. There we go. A little ghost throw again. Just imagining what he's going to do with this dart, focusing it in. Now you tell me that that doesn't work, Dan. Tell me it doesn't work. That's exactly what he's doing.
It's the Paul Lim superpower, and Jason Brandon looks like he's seen a ghost. Averages of both players very similar right now.
Shane McGurk has been located. He is in here. Sat towards the back of the room with his team who are with him.
Away from the limelight, which doesn't seem like Shane for how much of a showman he's been. I mean, if you're choosing to walk on to We Will Rock You by Queen, you're going to have an audience.
He's more than dressed down. He's in slight disguise.
No, he's not wearing a Christmas waistcoat. Jason beginning to tell himself off. Maybe beginning to understand the magnitude of the situation.
Is it a situation where he could have done with Neil Duff in his corner this evening? Out in the players' room.
Jason's got support from some of the Americans we've seen. Jeff Springer Jr., who was actually due to fly home today, but it cost him and his partner $50 to extend their flights. Bit of a no-brainer.
$50, mate. 50 bucks. Yeah.
Jason Brandon needs to buck his ideas up because he's on the brink of an 8th straight leg defeat. First 1-7-1 of the match. Won't be surprised to see that tally be higher than the 180s.
And surprisingly, just a slight ripple of applause. There wasn't a big lifting of the roof off of the building. Tops was his go-to double yesterday in his quarter-final.
The first time since the very first leg, it's a position of comfort, or it was. No, not anymore.
I'll have to take my jacket off in here, it's so warm. We got fellas still wearing their hats in the crowd. Their winter warmer hats.
And they'll be doffed if 116 goes. Paul did not like that.
The cry was no, Paul. He continues to recover the situation quietly and confidently in his own way. And once again pressures the Brandon's attempt at the double. Smiles to himself because he knows what he's done. He knows exactly how he's played this, and this will hurt. What? I think was the call to the referee.
astonishing composure. He is now closer to the winning line than Brandon is to him. They call that the John Part Horizon. And John Part, before this tournament, was the last player to beat Lim at Lakeside.
You've got some good stats there, mate.
135.
I'm trying to put myself in Jason Brandon's shoes here as a player. I'm trying to work out what he needs to do to get himself back into this match. It's quite clear that it's not an ability issue by the time you get to a semi-final. This is clearly a massive mental issue. And Paul Lim's not oblivious to that. He knows it. He knows he's making him think. Those are not bad thrown darts, they're just not going in the desired destination. And can't believe it's only 57. There you go. That's how packed the Lakeside is this evening.
Treated to the renaissance of this 70-year-old darting superstar. It's just not happening for the American.
And that's another leg. Then he's looking at double 10. There he is. There's our finalist. He said he would come back and have a look. And he certainly has. And what he's watching is the number 11 seed struggling when he gets to the outer ring, not knowing what to do with this man and his composure. And Jason Brandon just continues to be picked off. I was chatting with him last night and he said he's just not used to playing on the stage. He's just not used to playing in front of big crowds. He said, you put me on that board out the back on the floor there and I'll beat anybody. He said, get me 6 inches off the floor here and it seems a very different game.
Was that a half-hearted attempt at a Tennessee accent?
No.
Loves it, does Shane McGurk?
Yeah, the quiet side of Shane McGurk there. He enjoyed himself this afternoon, didn't he?
Bookmakers had Paul Lim as the 8-1 outsider at the start of play today. Have they been watching this week? Do you think it might be a case of Brandon being a little bit starstruck by the situation? Were there any times in the early parts of your career where you faced a player who was revered in the game and you were stood on the stage thinking, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this?
I don't think I ever revered a player. I remember the first time coming out here, I revered the place. The place was so iconic. I'd been here as a fan, and I remember walking out here on my first walk-on thinking I've got no control of my arms and my legs. It didn't help that I was coming out with a dog on a silly Pinks diamond-studded lead. But yes, I was very nervous, and I felt like a fan in the crowd looking at somebody else walking on. It was a very strange and surreal experience. And once again, Lim is chipping away, being offered opportunities. It's a 15-dart leg for Paul Lim.
Jason's had no answer. He hasn't been able to answer back.
The game is just creeping away from him, and I've been involved in similar games where you walk away and you've been defeated and you just don't know how it happened, because you weren't a million miles away from your opponent, but every time they get there, they hit.
135.
Kai approves. Did see Shane McGurk in the crowd a few moments ago, and if you asked him who he wants to win, I can't think of a situation where he says he wants Paul to win. Shane surely wants to face Jason.
We did explain, we did say, Helen and I, when we did our little interview with him after the game, you know, who would you prefer? He said he didn't mind, but I said he knows probably the only one of these two that the crowd wouldn't be with him would be if Paul Lim got through. And he's got to watch this and just in case. And try and work out a way how he's going to deal with this pace of game, should Paul Lim go on and win it. Brandon's not throwing as quickly at all as he was in the Duff game. I'm sure Duff's watching this somewhere going, I can't believe what's happening.
Bullseye for 4-0.
He did a 148 yesterday, but he hasn't even looked like doing 28 today, has he? Chalk and cheese between the 2 days for Jason Brandon.
These kinds of finishes Paul has made look easy. It's a surreal situation, but Paul Lim is 1 set away from a whitewash win against the impressive American Jason Brandon. Who saw this coming at the start of the week? There is no stress, there is no hint of him being flustered. There certainly is for Brandon, and he needs to mount a monster comeback in order to get to the final. Lim leads 4-0.
The 46th annual win.
Brandon's been in a similar situation to this in a couple of legs, but Lim has then popped up with a 180, a 177 to get himself back into the leg. You have to be thinking about one leg at a time in your own leg.
Last time Brandon looked comfortable in a leg was the one that clinched the 3rd set. He missed 6 darts at a double despite scoring a 171. Lim stepped up, wanted tops, single 1-7, double 16. Good night.
And those bread and butter shots Lim is making look very simple indeed. See, Jason Brandon's just taken a split second longer than he was last night. It's like he's having a little think. I've got to get this, dunk, and then throws.
Must be a horrible sinking feeling.
Every year when we come to Lakeside, there's a game that there seems to be just a hole in the middle of the stage and you get swallowed up. And I thought that one had gone this afternoon with Francois Chewan.
Number 5. Yes, it is, Paul.
Yeah, that's there, Paul. It's unusual that Lim's been missing with 3 darts in his hand on a finish. "12 darts in this leg." Even the Power Ranger in the crowd is scratching his chin.
Slap bang in the middle.
Do you think Shane McGurk will be getting a call from his mate Brendan Dolan this evening or tomorrow morning?
Quite possibly. Or maybe do you think Shane will be making the call to Brendan?
I think if it was me, I'd be making the call.
Paul Lim calling for double 16. Getting double 16. He is one leg away from an astonishing run to a Lakeside final.
100.
Brandon's body language reminiscent of Francois Schweyen this afternoon.
He's such a likeable fella as well, Jason Brandon, and you just don't like seeing this happening to the nice guys.
His departure is looking a certainty, but I'm sure he'll be back. He's been a brilliant addition to the tournament. He's flying the flag for the USA, a nation that loves their darts.
Kai Van Loon leading the orchestra.
I'd love to go to a Kai Van Loon exhibition, actually. That'd be a lot of fun.
Cheers, Brendan, my old mate. Thanks for the text. I knew you would be. I knew you would be. Those Irish, they stick together, you know.
Yeah, he's one of the good guys, is Brendan.
Sure is. He sure is.
Double top.
.102 for Paul Lim. He's picking out the trebles here, all the ones that he doesn't want. Finally has a terrible chuck.
Double 10.
When he's 4 sets up.
Oh, hello, Jason. Well, the rot's been stopped, and just for the sake of Jason, you're glad it has. 14 legs in a row won by Lim. It's the tiniest consolation.
Who knows? Could be the spark. The next 2 or 3 minutes will tell us. Could be the spark for Paul Lim to continue on.
140.
A very difficult game as a commentator to try and get your head round into why it's going wrong and what's going wrong. My dear old mate Sean McGowan now, former Republic of Ireland captain who taught me an awful lot. Lovely to hear from you, Sean. We know you stick together. You're the mighty leader.
How many more Irish darts players are going to text you?
It's kind of nice, mate. It's kind of nice. Is he going to go 180 and leave tops here? Yes, he is. Paul Lim is 40 points away from the WDF Lakeside World Championship final.
And he's been getting better as the game has gone on.
Not going to be this time. Ironic, we put the Scottish hats up. As Ross Montgomery texts me also. We know the Scottish watch, Mr. Montgomery.
Come on, Jason.
With Lim back on 266. What we don't need Jason to be thinking and having is a deja vu moment here, because he's done this a few times in this match and then been the one to fluff his lines. Is he finally going to get over the finishing line to get a set?
Treble 18. Well, they are the times you can miss big numbers when your opponent's not on a finish, but 74 might only get one dart at a double.
But this is where Paul Lim has been jumping on a double treble visit and sticking him under all sorts of pressure. And here we go, it's the deja vu moment. He's doing it again. A leg that he doesn't look that he's even in.
133.
You look over your shoulder and he's level on the scoreboard.
Brandon in the background looked baffled at the choice, and I'm inclined to agree with him. Double top.
34.
Even the greats of the sport can suffer with nerves.
15 for the bullseye.
For the final. The support ramps up. And the Paul Lim dream rolls on to a Lakeside final. Tomorrow could be one of the most astonishing stories our sport has ever produced. Credit where it's due to Jason Brandon. He has been a breath of fresh air. He has been a credit to his nation this week. But it seems destined that this year Lakeside belongs to the 70-year-old. and it is only 29-year-old Irishman Shane McGurk who stands in the way of a Singapore Slinger World Championship.
The 46th annual to Lakeside in December 2025. The Isle of Man International Darts Festival is held from March 6th to 9th, a triple header of darting fun on the Isle of Man with the Silver and Bronze Classic and Masters and the Unranked Open. The Denmark Open and Masters are held from May 2nd to 4th. One of the best run tournaments on the calendar in the beautiful city of Esbjerg, the Golden Denmark Open provides the champions a direct qualification into the 2025 Lakeside World Championships. Along with the Silver Denmark Masters, it's a tournament weekend to look forward to. The Toronto Area Open is held from May 30th till June the 1st. It will be the biggest WDF tournament in Canada in 2025, with the winners of the 501 singles directly qualifying for the Lakeside World Championships. Come join North America's best dart shooters in Toronto. The Swiss Open and Helvetia Open tournaments are held from May 30th till June the 1st. One of the longest running tournaments in Europe invites you to join them in between the most beautiful surroundings. The Swedish Open and Masters takes place from 15th to 17th of August. A popular tournament for many of Europe's best arrowsmiths, the double silver weekend always provides great entertainment.
The limbs, the Paul Limbs. Welcome back to Lakeside in the WDF World Darts Championship. Paul Lim has just won himself a spot in this final tomorrow. He's not here because he's still on the stage signing autographs. It's a remarkable story, isn't it?
It is just amazing. I can't believe it. It's great.
You tipped it, Lorraine. You must be feeling amazing.
I could just gloat that I did tip it. That's all I'm going to do. A lot of gloating.
The thing is we keep saying like, oh, it's great, oh, it's amazing, and a lot of people have pointed out that he is 70 years old now, and of course the 9-darter legacy.
It's like, to me, as it goes along, right, I can feel that everything seems to be on my side. Everything is going right somewhere. I mean, let's put it this way, right? I always believe in darts, right, is that you have to put the pressure on, but you need a bit of luck somehow. When your opponent has that clear shot of a double to win that leg, and they miss and they give you a chance, I'm lucky that way. I always feel that way.
But you're taking those chances,
that
Paul.
is,
You're taking them.
But the thing is that they give me that chance.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? Because honestly, normally I wouldn't have that chance. To put it this way, because they are all good players. So honestly, I felt I'm lucky in a certain way, but I created my luck in that because of pressuring my opponent and making them think that if I miss, he will hit it. That's what I'm trying to do. You know?
Do you think your pace pressures the opponent as well? Because you go about your business in a way that it's your business. That's what you do, and you will not be pushed along.
Yeah.
If you feel that you want to throw a bit quicker one day, you throw a bit quicker. Another day, if it's not going that way, you have the experience to take the pace out of the game and continue to hit. You find a way, Paul. You find a way, and that must come with years of experience.
It is, in a way. I really believe that you play to your own satisfaction and pace. You really have to.
We know.
Because
your opponents know.
Yeah, if you fast, if you were to be pushing yourself because of how your opponent's going to play.
Yeah.
Because I really kind of really never, my pace is always pretty much regular in a way.
Yeah.
But there are times when I try to throw fast, it's like, I really felt that game is out of, I really lost, you know, so I just go and throw it. It really is. And then suddenly I hit a 133, a 1 something, and leave myself a shot. You know what I mean, like I said again, so.
Jason found himself around the ton mark on a few occasions in that match, and then sort of failed to do anything, and then you would pop up with a 171, a 177, and all of a sudden he's looking at the scoreboard and he's sat on 74, and you're next door on 78 from 200 and something. And like you say, it's pressure. It's out and out pressure.
You know, actually, honestly, right, that fourth leg, the last set of the fourth leg, I was going first. And when I came back with the 180 and I left myself a shot on double tops, I got 220 left, right? And I shot 180 and lit top. That should be the killer shot. That should end the game right then. And I let it go. In my heart, right, you know, it's like a stab there. It really did. So I'm glad I got in on the fifth leg anyway because it let me off. So,
Paul,
yeah.
You're in the final tomorrow. You're in the World Championship final tomorrow. It's...
You know, I want to do well and I want to win it. I want to win it for a lot of reasons. Lakeside has always been my starting point in my dart career. Yeah. It has been for years and years with the BDO, the Ollie Croft and Lorna Croft when they started the Lakeside World Championship. And I was a part of it. You know, like I said again, things has gone. And unfortunately, well, you know, whatever it went anyway. But still, my memory, when I came in here and I look at the wall and I look at all those people that I've known, some has gone and, you know, rest in peace. And there might be people that are still out there and not playing at all. But it has brought back a lot of memories because that's what made me. Honestly, I think I am known for what I did here on a night dart game. Yeah, more than anything else, really, it is. Everyone that have seen me right now, the people that are 40 years old, people that are 40 over years old, he said, when I was a junior, I watched you play the night. You know, it really was, you know. And honestly, it's an honor. It's an honor, really, it is.
It's an honor for all of us, all darts fans, to see you here in this position now. It's absolutely lovely. We've got to go now tonight, and we've got to go and let you get some rest because you've been on the last 3 nights in a row. We were all here until 12:30 last night, but look.
Helen, it's going to take him another hour to get out of here. The fans are not going to let him out.
What time it starts tomorrow?
Oh, well, don't worry. Well, we're back on air at 5 o'clock, but look, you'll get your call time. Just go and get some rest.
Anyway, thank you.
So excited to see you in the
It's my honor and my pleasure. You know, really.
It's our honor as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That is
Appreciate
it from us tonight with all of our semi-finals.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks to Scott and Lorraine and the amazing Paul Lim. We'll see you tomorrow, 5 o'clock, back here on Blaze TV for the WDF World Championship Finals. Will we be walking in a Paul Lim wonderland? Find out tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you.